Hello everyone and welcome to Barca News. Today I will be reviewing yesterday's match where Barcelona defeated Real Sociedad 4-1 in the first away match of La Liga. Now this was a great result because Barcelona had its first victory of the season and also because pressure had been mounting on the team with the new signings and with the draw against Rayo Vallecano in La Liga's opener. Now despite this being a great result, it was not a great performance by the team, especially during the first half where Barcelona struggled to maintain possession and to keep Real Sociedad at bay, and as a result it was a chaotic first half with a lot of back and forth between the two sides. Now I believe some of this chaos was as a result of Xavi's mistakes in the formation, which fortunately for us he was able to correct in the second half, and Barcelona were able to pull a victory. Now the match began with a 4-3-3 formation, but once the whistle blew, we quickly realized it was more of a 3-4-3 formation with marc-andre in the goal and Ronald Araujo, Andreas Christensen and Eric Garcia forming the defensive line. Now in the midfield it was Gabi and Xavi's first mistake, which is Frenkie de Jong in the place of Sergio Busquets, and then Pedri and Alejandro Balde. Now in the attacking line, we saw Ousmane Dembele, Robert Lewandowski, and Xavi's second mistake, which was to have Ferran Torres start in the left wing. Now starting with Marc ter Stegen, the German goalkeeper had a brilliant performance yesterday with two brilliant saves that changed the outcome of the match, and where Real Sociedad could have easily ended the first half 3-1 in their favor. Now Marc ter Stegen had also a brilliant performance against Rayo Vallecano, so it seems that the German goalkeeper is finally beginning to regain his form of several seasons ago where he was one of the best, if not the best goalkeeper in the world. Now hopefully Marc ter Stegen can keep up this performance, because if there's anything we've learned from Real Madrid this past season is that having a great goalkeeper under the post could mean the difference between winning a championship or going home empty-handed. Now the defensive line did an adequate job. Even though they were overwhelmed during the first half, they were still pretty solid defensively, especially Andreas Christensen and Eric Garcia. Now even though there's room for growth in the defensive line, it is much better than we've been seeing in the past seasons, especially last season under Ronald Koeman. Now in regards to the midfield, I believe they had an underwhelming performance during the first half, failing to maintain possession of the ball and moving the ball very slowly, which prevented Barcelona from creating chances the same way they did against Rayo Vallecano. Now one of the reasons for the midfield's underperformance was having Frenkie de Jong start in the place of Sergio Busquets, which I believe was a mistake that Xavi committed. Now I do believe that Frenkie de Jong earned a starting role during this match after his brilliant performance against Rayo Vallecano. However, as we've seen many times before, Frenkie de Jong is not a pivot and does not perform well when he replaces Sergio Busquets. Now it was very interesting to have Frenkie de Jong replace Sergio Busquets, especially because Xavi had said a day before in the press conference that he wanted to see Frenkie de Jong more of an interior and more as an attacking midfielder. And there he goes the day later and puts him in the place of Sergio Busquets as a defensive midfielder. Now it's also interesting to see Frenkie de Jong replace Sergio Busquets because the club decided to keep Miralem Pjanic instead of offloading him per Xavi's request, who wanted Pjanic to be Sergio Busquets' replacement in that center midfield position. Yeah, here we are at the first opportunity that we need to replace Sergio Busquets. Xavi goes ahead and calls up Frenkie de Jong instead of Miralem Pjanic. Now this mistake was very evident right from the get-go, because Frenkie de Jong is a player who likes to have the ball at his feet, who likes to push forward, break lines and contribute to the offense, and that's something that a pivot cannot afford, because if you lose the ball, you leave the back line exposed. That's exactly what happened in Real Sociedad's first goal, where Frenkie de Jong lost the ball and Real Sociedad were able to convert that mistake into their one and only goal during that match. Now it was great to see Alejandro Balde start in the place of Jordi Alba, because I believe that the youngster has earned a place on the team with his great performance in the preseason and with the terrible performance that Jordi Alba had during the match against Rayo Vallecano. Now by having Alejandro Balde start in the place of Jordi Alba, Xavi has sent a clear message to the entire squad that if you want to play in Barcelona, you cannot bring your level down, you cannot be mediocre. If you want to be a starting player, you have to step your game up, which is something that Jordi Alba has not had to do in the past few seasons, because he hasn't had any adequate competition, and as a result he's always been the starter regardless of his performance during the matches. Now in the attacking line, we saw Robert Lewandowski do what he does best, and he scored 2 goals and provided 1 assist. And even though it was his birthday and he turned 34 years old, Robert Lewandowski showed us that he's an absolute monster in the penalty box, and if he gets a ball in there, he's definitely going to score it. Now Lewandowski opened his official goal tally with Barcelona with his 2 goals yesterday, and I have no doubt that we will see many more goals to come. Now in regards to Ferran Torres, I believe that was Xavi's second mistake in the lineup. Not because I believe that Ferran Torres is not a good player, not at all. I really like Ferran Torres. I believe that he's very good at reading spaces, at reading plays, and at being at the in the right place at the right time. However, Ferran Torres did miss the entire preseason due to an injury, and he also missed La Liga's opener against Rayo Vallecano. So to have him start and play 70 minutes, I believe it was a mistake. If Xavi wants to count on Ferran Torres, he should have had him come on as a substitute in the last 20 to 30 minutes so he can begin to get some rhythm, which is something that he was lacking all throughout the 66 minutes that he was playing. Now overall, the team did not perform well during the first half. They failed to maintain possession, and as a result, Real Sociedad were able to create several chances and create danger, and thanks to marc-andre, they were only able to score 1 goal, but Real Sociedad could have easily ended the first half 3-1 in their favor. Now in the second half, we saw Xavi correct his mistakes, and he brought on Ansu Fati and Rafinha in the place of Ferran Torres and Alejandro Balde. Now from the moment those 2 players stepped on the pitch, we saw a complete change in the match, and it went from a back and forth match to Barcelona absolutely dominating the match, and with Real Sociedad simply having no answer to what the team was offering. Now Barcelona were able to score 3 goals in the second half, with Ansu Fati providing 2 assists and scoring the 3rd goal, and with Rafinha participating in the build-up of all 3 goals, which goes to show the immediate impact that those 2 players had. Now later on, Xavi brought on Sergio Roberto, Jordi Alba, and Frank Kessie, and the formation went back to a 4-3-3, which I believe is a good strategy to use in future matches, where you can start the match with a 3-4-3, heavy on the attack, score some goals, and then go back to a 4-3-3 to try to secure the match's result and prevent any late goals. Now overall, the team did not have a good performance during the first half, and Xavi did make some mistakes in the formation. However, he was able to correct those mistakes, and the team had a brilliant and a dominant performance in the last 25 minutes of the match. And if Barcelona could play every match the way they did in those last 25 minutes, I believe that Barcelona could make some serious damage in this season, and they could also aspire to many trophies. It's also good to remember that this is a new team after all, so the players are still getting to know each other and getting used to each other. Now even though we have a great coach in Xavi Hernandez, we also have to remember that he too is learning. After all, this is his first job as a coach in the top flight football, but I believe with time he will get better, and as matches go by and more training sessions go by, the team will get better and better, and I cannot wait to see what Barcelona will achieve during this season. So that is it for today. I hope you enjoyed this review. If you did, please give me a like. Also, I invite all of you to please leave a comment down below giving me all your thoughts and opinions about the match against Real Sociedad and about the team's performance. Finally, I would like to invite all of you to please subscribe to the channel so you can stay current on all the latest news in regards to our beloved club, FC Barcelona. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video, and as always, Pisca Barça.